All right, in the studio, as promised, more rock royalty. It's on the featured artist interview series. It's Rik Fox, and he's the American heavy metal bassist. He brought his mustache with him. You know, he's out in New York City. He's been known to hang out with Blackie Lawless of Wasp. He even says here he's used to date the daughter of, or I'm not the daughter, the sister of Peter Criss.
Oh, God.
It's a long bio. Rick's on the phone with us. Rik, thanks for joining the Muay Thai Metal Show.
Thanks for having me. For Keel, the Ron Keel Band, and Steeler. So all the dots are connected through the boss man.
Again, we can't thank you enough for joining us. The bass player of Steeler is here, and many other projects. Walk us through what's going on. Bring everyone at home, bring the fans at home up to date with the Rik Fox, and what is Rik Fox up to right now?
Well, I'm known as the Winged Knight of Heavy Metal because of my ancestry with the Polish Wing Hussar Cavalry. That's in my ancestry. So, some people have a catchphrase to their name, so the Winged Knight of Heavy Metal is mine.
This is true.
So I've been working on several projects simultaneously. It's either feast or famine. When it rains, it pours, or there's either nothing or everything going on. Since my late wife and I moved to Missouri, we got out of Dodge, California there, and then a year after we got here to Missouri, my wife, was a horse trainer, and amongst many things, and cancer caught up with her, and she passed away. So in 2022, so now I'm kind of here by myself, and I'm in a quiet little pocket, little town, I call it like Mayberry because it's like that, but and then projects have started to come in. So I'm always up for whenever Ron Keel gives me a call and says, "Hey, I got something going on. You interested?" I'll say, "Oh, just run it by me. Let me see what you got." And so last year, or this was the year before, he brought me in on an all-star project, Ron Keel All-Stars, and we recorded a song called American Thunder, which is out there. It's on YouTube. It has a whole laundry list of incredible players on it. Probably the most known is Mike Vanderhule from YNT. He's on that. So I get to share the rhythm section with an incredible drummer. And then we've been doing rock and pod conventions in Nashville. We've been doing live performances out there like that. And then Ron contacted me and said, "Hey, listen, I got a new Steelers song. I got a whole bunch of stuff in the on the back burner, but I'd like to run this one with you." And he sent me the scratch tracks. He says, "Go ahead, go to town, write your bass." Mm-hmm. So I kind of borrowed for myself a little bit from American Thunder, and I have kind of a similar feel in that. But it's called "Give Me Guitars or Give Me Death." It's the newest Steelers song in 40 years. And although Dwayne Miller did an incredible job on the drums on the actual recording, and Mitch Perry, who replaced Malmsteen, he's incredible guitar on that. Uh-huh. And then what happened was after we recorded it, other things developed, and next thing I know was we're all flying into Los Angeles to shoot a video for the song. And then our Steeler drummer, Mark Edwards, who has not been able to play drums for many decades because of a motocross accident that broke his back, he actually is in the video. He's playing drums in the video. I mean, to the track. He's physically he's been like his own form of therapy. He's been working like X amount of hours a day to physically be able to play it. And we stood there watching the video, his parts being shot, and it's like he did an outstanding, incredible job. Mark brought so much to the table to see this project happen. So, and we thank him for that. But so Mark Edwards is in the video, and then we there's going to be various interviews with people who are familiar with Steeler. I know Fred Corey stopped by from Cinderella. He stopped by while we were doing the video shoot. It's being shot by the director is an acclaimed videographer. His name's David Pear. He's incredible. He was incredible to work with. He's on tour with the Dead Daisies, so he shoots all the video stuff for the Dead Daisies.
Okay.
And then what we did was there's going to be like a Steeler documentary. And while we were staying at the Chateau Marmont Hotel, part of the plan of us staying there was, besides, the legend of what it is, we were doing a photo session that was kind of recreating the photo session that Led Zeppelin did back in the 70s when they were there. So we were in the same locations, in the same, pretty much almost the same poses as Led Zeppelin. So that was interesting to do. And then we kind of walked around the streets of L.A. and Hollywood and visited the clubs that we all started at, the Troubadour and the Roxy and the Whiskey and all of that. And we did a soft meet and greet at the Rainbow and signed some albums and pictures and things like that. So that was all pretty fun. It was like a military special ops mission. We get in there on Friday, hit it, quit it, and exfil and get out. By Monday morning, we were done.
This is an amazing story. Let me just help the fans get, if you're just joining us or you're confused like I am. This is the amazing Rik Fox, and I had a chance to pull up his bio while we were talking, and he did send me a ton of information on his career, and we'll get to that in 1 second. But he's walking you through a video shoot of the new Keel song, Give Me Guitars or Give Me Death. That's what he was talking about, if you're just wondering. We will be getting to that later on in the program, and I want to thank you for that in-depth transcription of the entire video shoot, and I'm sure there's more that you want to tell us about that. I also wanted to circle back to something you said at the beginning of the interview, which was Rik Fox, winged knight of heavy metal. For the fans at home that don't know that, we're going to discuss that too. I want to talk to you, Rick, about that as well, and some of these beautiful photographs you got here as well that you sent me. Amazing photography from the early days. We'll get to that as well. Also, I want to hear this song, On the Run by Sin. Talk to me quickly about that, and let's get that out the door for the fans.
Okay, well, after I was out of Steeler in 1983, I didn't want to lose any ground underneath me. I was still relatively new in L.A., and I didn't have that much, let's say, experience in screening people. But people were being recommended to me, because I still had momentum from being in Steeler. And I put together my first LA lineup of a band called Sin. I was in a band called Sin back in Jersey in the 70s. It was a completely different band. But when we put this band together, nobody could come up with a really good name. So I said, then we're just going to call it Sin, I like that. And so we put together a lineup that had keyboards in it. We were kind of like a cross between Angel meets Judas Priest meets Uriah Heep. And it was pretty heavy. We headlined. We did really well for 6 months, and then it kind of imploded. As things happen in Hollywood, egos, things like that, and it just went south. So I put together another lineup with 3 guys that were out of a New York band called Alien, and that was with Frank Starr, who later went on to be the singer for the Four Horsemen, the late Frank Starr. And so I put this other version together with 2 guitars. And we picked up right where I left off. We were headlining everywhere. We were doing co-headlines with Stryper, with this band, with that band. We'd play with Keel. And we were a hot commodity coming up on the LA scene. And we got spotted by management. They put us in the studio to record. We did a 4-song demo that was produced by Dana Strum, who was with Vinnie Vincent at the time. And during this time, Dana presented the song you're about to hear to Vinnie Vincent, who told me personally, I really like your song. I'd like to re-record it. Well, what he wound up doing was he took the song without my permission. Dana just gave it to him, and they turned it into a song called Let Freedom Rock on Vinnie's second album. So he actually ripped off the song, and it's been documented in Bobby Rock's book, The Boy's Gonna Rock. He actually discussed it in there and said, we don't know why it was done, but yeah, we stole the song from a band called Sin that Dana worked with. So it's in print, it's for posterity, and it's validated. So it's not like I'm making it up. But
anyway, that's great stuff. That's a great story. I tell you, Rik Fox, you got the stories, man. You got the career. You got the songs. What do you say you send your blessing out on the run?
Go and hit it.
Here it is.
Let everybody hear it. Let everybody hear it.
It's Rik Fox. He's in the band Sin. It's a classic throwback. Here it is on a Muay Thai Metal Show. was On the Run from the band Sin, and you're sitting down with the man himself, Rik Fox, bassist, songwriter. Rik, I wanted to circle back quickly. You have a pretty amazing thing here going on with this Rik Fox Wing Knight of Heavy Metal, and you have a suit of armor and some pretty cool pictures. What is that all about?
Well, my dad, one of the things that my dad did was he was researching our family ancestry in Poland, and came back with a whole slew of information. And he became the director of heraldry in the United States for the Polish Nobility Association Foundation. And I started after I took a hiatus out of the music industry in the 90s. It was just it wasn't fun anymore. So I got out of the kitchen, and I started working in the film industry, and I was doing props and weapons, things like that. And while I was doing that, I started dabbling a little bit in the Renaissance fairs like that. And I went, I was with a couple of different groups, and we were doing, choreographed sword fighting, things like that. I wound up going to Singapore with a choreographed living history troupe, a combat troupe, and I was in plate armor from the neck down in like 90+ degree humidity. But it was kind of I grew up watching all the swashbuckling films, from the 30s and 40s, and Errol Flynn and Tyrone Power and Basil Rathbone, Zorro and Captain Blood, all that. That's all it's like second nature for me. Like, it's like a DNA memory marker somewhere genetic in the back. Like, this is very familiar to me. It's not like strange. I have an adaptability, like in sword fighting and things like that, martial combat, thing like that. So my dad introduced me when I was doing the Renaissance stuff. I said, what was going on in Poland at the time? There's no representation of Poland at Renaissance fairs. It's all Western Europe, England, France, Italy, Spain, Germany, and so on. And then he I guess, reopened my mind to our ancestry, and it turned me on to this. What our Polish ancestry was. They had this. It was the most powerful cavalry in the 17th century in Europe, undefeated for 200 years.
Okay.
These Polish knights that had these big wings on their back, on their armor, or on the back of the saddles, and they would ride into battle with these like 18, 20-foot lances and animal skins on their shoulders, and it was a whole psychological overawe. And it would terrify the enemy. It would break up the formations, and there was until gunfire and firearms became better. These guys were like undefeated on the battlefield, like I said, for 200 years. So this was an aspect of my ancestry that I really dug into. And there was a museum exhibit that came over from Poland around 2000 that had a display of this stuff. And I did research on it. And I said, you know what? When this museum exhibit goes back to Poland, people are going to forget. I said, I gotta create something like this and keep it here so people will remember like that. And over the years, I've gotten a lot of awards and recognitions from various Polish and Polish American organizations thanking me for raising Polish historic culture and awareness.
Sure.
I was contacted by Kensington Productions out of Toronto around 2011, and they have a cable series on the History Channel called Museum Secrets. And they said, we saw this over in a museum in Russia. You seem to be the go-to guy about this in America. Can we come do an episode on you?
Okay.
I said, yeah. They flew down from Toronto. They came to our ranch in California, and my wife helped me with training my horse on it. My late wife, Tamara, and we trained my thoroughbred to go through the paces on all of this, and we did it. We shot the episode, and it's like the first time in the English language for the English-speaking audience outside of Poland, and it was unbiased. I've demanded that they do this unbiased. There's no jokes. There's no propaganda about Poles charging tanks in World War II, which never happened. And that they were very respectful to me of this. So we shot it. It's now available on Amazon Prime it's called Museum Secrets. It's in season 3, and so I represented my Polish ancestry, and it opened a lot of doors for me in the Polish American community in America, I was the vice president of the Polish American Congress in Los Angeles for several years, like that. And I was, moving along, trying to get the culture recognized.
Great.
It's always overlooked,
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff, Rick. And for the fans at home, if you're just joining us or if you're sitting down, you're listening, you're actually listening to Rik Fox, bassist, and he's been in the company of quite a few kick-ass musicians, likes of Blackie Lawless, Yngwie Malmsteen, Ron Keel, to name a few. But he's also a 17th century history buff, and he enjoys dressing down in like a knight's uniform. And you need to check out his biography. You can probably find some stuff on this stuff. And you'll find Rik Fox. You'll also find his Winged Knight of heavy metal stuff. And that's what we were talking about. And he was giving us a detailed description. And I can't thank you enough for that deep insight into that, Rick. And Rick's a very pronounced guy. So anything you want to know about 17th century military or anything past to present, he'd probably be the guy to go to, not just for hard rock and heavy metal songwriting. Rick, you got a great catalog of music to go with that lengthy description there you gave us of the 17th century and the Polish army.
Yes, well, actually Polish cavalry, but yeah.
Polish cavalry, excuse my French.
Yeah, we call it living history. We're recreating it, yeah.
And if you screw it up, he'll make sure you get it right. Well, awesome, dude. This is great. I mean, I'm enjoying myself immensely here. You want to talk about this Thunderball thing?
Okay, so Thunderball came along in the late 80s, around 1988. I was looking to put another project together, and I got contacted by one of the booking agents at the Troubadour. He said, this guitar player just came in from Detroit. He's trying to get in touch with you. I don't know who the guy was, but I said, all right, well, give me his contact information. And he reached out and contacted me. He said, yeah, I read somewhere you were friends with the guys in Guns N' Roses and Lily Guns and all these other bands, and I'm looking for somebody, to play with. And, your name was very prominent there. And I said, all right, well, so he put me in touch with the guy. The guy sent me a picture and a tape. He was incredible, one of the most incredible guitar players I've ever had the pleasure to play with. Mm-hmm. His name is Joe Mazzola, and he was out of a band out of Detroit called Spider. And he came over my place. He sounded like a cross between George Lynch and Michael Schenker, if you can imagine that. That's like the best of both worlds. Uh-huh. He was real easy to work with. He was over my apartment so many times that actually his wife was getting pissed off because he was spending so much time away from home. I mean, it was just, we just lived across the neighborhood from me, but he wound up moving in my apartment. So we were writing all the time. He was a great roommate. And he was, whatever limitations I may have had musically, he was able to understand it and play exactly what I was looking for. So there was a lot of times when he and our drummer would go out to the clubs like Cat House or whatever. I would just stay at the apartment and write. And I was working on costumes and stage outfits and sketches and ideas. And I put this we started to record my ideas, basic stuff on cassette. And then the way the song started to progress, I was influenced a lot by the song "Still of the Night" by Whitesnake. And I wanted to write something like that. And that's what Gypsy Brandy wound up evolving into. And before we had a title, we just used the working title was the Whitesnake song. Mm-hmm. So, but it captures the highs and lows and dynamics and ups and downs of something similar in that vein of a Whitesnake type song. And Joey nailed it. His leads actually raised the hair on my arms for what he does in that song. And the singer was Dale Thompson, who was the singer from a Kentucky Christian band called Bride, and he's a lot like Bruce Dickinson. Okay. So we went in the studio and would see Cecil Freeman, our drummer, who's out of Maryland, not that far from you guys, and then we went in the studio. I got some backing and I produced the demo and co-engineered it, and Gypsy Brandy was like the diamond in the ring, so to speak. We put everything into that song. Mm-hmm. And it's got a little bit of homage in it. There, I spoke French. There's a section in there where we come in out of the solo and do like a reintroduction, and it's like a tip of the hat to Rainbow in the Dark with the accents. And there's a part near the end of the song where it sounds like Guns N' Roses. So we were more than just kind of a flash in the pan. We were actually showing some musical substance. And this is like a crowning achievement for me. It's one of my favorite songs that I've ever written.
You've heard it right here. It's ready. It's time to hear the crowning achievement. It's Thunderball. It's Rik Fox. The song Gypsy Brandy. It's on the Muay Thai Metal Show. Crank it up.
She walks the streets through the mist of the night. Fashion is her middle name. If you chance to catch her in your sight, one night she lady with no shame. I touch the plane to the heart of the ball. Couldn't seem to find the food for my love. The night she gypsy, calling out my name. And now she's taking flight without a game. Gypsy of the night, I just can't live without you. Whoa, no, gypsy of the night, I'll fight until I find you. Here she comes again. She said to me, come on in from the cold wind. This fire's in my heart, out of control. My fever's rising to show me how to burn. Now she's gone into the mist, there's nowhere else to turn. I push the plane to the heart of the bomb. Lord, I think I found just what I'm dreaming of. This night she gypsy, yeah, now she gets me high. And now I'm taking flight, and that's the reason why. Gypsy of the night, I just can't live without you. Gypsy
right. You've been enjoying featured artist interviews here on the Muay Thai Metal Show, brought to you by 97underground.com, the station your mother warned you about, and boy, ever did she. That was Rik Fox, Part 1, Steeler, WASP, and many other associations. And man, does he have a lot to say. But stick around for hour number 2. We'll bring you the conclusion of Rik Fox here on the Muay Thai Metal Show. Coming up next, it's the Metalcore Minute.